Okay, thanks again for stopping by. All right, today we're going to talk a little bit more about the top 10 reasons why new realtors or realtors in general tend to succeed. All right, last time we talked about the reasons why they fail, and now this time we're going to talk about the reasons why they succeed. And again, the reason being is that I'm a believer that if you find out the reasons why somebody made a mistake or something happened that caused a negative result, that if you avoid that, then you don't have to obviously learn all the bad mistakes. Just watch what they did and you don't do it and you'll be okay. All right. Likewise, I believe that if you find someone who's doing something good, doing a good job at something, if you model yourself after that, then you'll have similar success as well. Now, I've gone ahead and I've found some of what I consider to be the top 10 reasons why it is that some of these realtors succeed, these characteristics that I've learned over the 16 years of seeing different realtors, and I've distilled them down, and I hope this is of a benefit to you. So if you've got a piece of paper, the number one reason here is that they have what I call an I can do this attitude. Okay? They adopt an attitude that says, you know what? This is my personal saying. Say it if you want, steal it if you will. But my personal saying is, in the hands of a less capable realtor, this would be a problem. I say that to myself whenever there's a problem. In the hands of a less capable realtor, this would be a problem. I can do this, okay? They're going to find whatever it takes to get around to make this happen, okay? However it needs to happen, it's going to be done, all right? I can do this. That's the number one thing I have found successful realtors have. Every single one of them. If you look at any of them, if you look at the Dan Beals, the Mike Bishops, the Kurt Stinsons, the Rob Lambs, the Sandy Heaths, you know, if you look at all these top producing agents, they always have this main thing in the top of their brain is, I can do this. Nothing will stand in my way, okay? That's top and foremost in their head. The second thing is that they do the daily routines it takes to create success, okay? Now, it doesn't matter which realtor you look at. If you look at some of these top realtors, okay, the people who've been around a while, they all have a daily routine that they follow, okay? Now, for some people, all right, myself included, or Kurt Stinson, or Curtis Anderson, or some of these other people, if you look at them, they will come into the morning and they will be here at a specific time and they will begin to prospect. And that's what they do, okay? If you look at, say, the Dan Beals, the Rob Lambs, things like that, they're very good at marketing, okay? If you look at the Dina Westermeyers, you know, they prospect with people that they've known in the past and they work that angle. But they always have a routine that they follow, all right? And that is what caused them to be successful, okay? The next thing is they see obstacles as learning opportunities, okay? Now, when you're faced with an obstacle, you have a couple choices. You can look at this as something that is negative and find out, you know, a way that this won't work. Or you can look at it like a learning opportunity and say to yourself, okay, I've got this problem. This escrow has got a problem. They need, you know, like one we're dealing with right now, okay? They need to go through probate in Arizona, all right? The client is in Illinois. They are there. The decedent is in Illinois. You know, he's dead and gone and buried and all this and all that, but yet they have property here in Arizona, which is causing us a problem because they need to go through the probate process here in Arizona to sell it, okay? Well, I didn't know that, all right? Well, now I do, okay? Now I can use this in the future, so if I ever come up with this problem again, it's not a problem, and I don't look at it as though this deal is dead because of this probate issue. I look at this as a cheap education. I think, oh, okay, cool. Well, the next time I should maybe ask a question. Hey, listen, this person who died, did you go through the probate process here in Arizona? You know, that's something important to know. Okay, good to know. The third thing is, the fourth thing is that they persist through the downtimes. Okay, it's easy to be a superstar when the market is going up. Okay? It's easy to look great. It's easy to say you're number one at this or you're number one at that when things are going good. When everything you touch turns to gold, you know, it's easy to be Midas, all right? But when things start turning to rust, when things start going by the wayside, when you're working but it's not working, when things are hard, okay? The top producers persist through these times. They find a way to make it happen. Okay, you remember in the last video I told you I was a bouncer for a while. Okay, I was delivering pizzas. Okay, I was using those times to find, for sale by owners as I was driving by. I'm delivering pizzas in one hand, and I got a pen and paper in the other. I'm writing down a for sale by owner. Okay, when you look back and you talk to some of these agents who've been in the business 20, 30, 40 years, like George Deacon, for example, Sandy Heath, when you talk to these people here, they can tell you horror stories, okay? Casey Compernol is a great friend of mine. She's over here in Antigua. I remember her telling me stories one time about interest rates being so ungodly high, they would be in the teens. 12, 13, 14, 15%, okay? When I started real estate, it was 7%, and I thought that was pretty good. Now it's down to like 4, all right? And we think it's really hard, because oh my goodness, the things are terrible. They don't finance things. Hey, guess what? Put yourself back in the 80s, all right, during the RTCs and all these other problems, the REITs and the trusts that they had and the problems they had then, when interest rates were 13, 14, 15%, and then think about you had to put down 20% down, okay? Wow, that's a lot of money. And it takes, perspective for you, okay? So they find and they persist the way through the downtimes. Number 5, they are consistent with their marketing, okay? Now, however you choose to go ahead and generate business for yourself, okay? The number one thing that you need to remember is consistency is key, all right? You have to have your message out there all the time. If your prospecting on the phone expires, you got to be calling every day. It's not going to work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, okay? If you're going to be running an ad in the paper, okay, which I don't recommend, but if you do, okay, make sure that ad is there every time, okay, because you got to get that person, when they see it, they can see it there and they know it's there, all right? If you're going to be doing, I don't know, let's say an open house, okay, hold open houses. Don't just, try it once and then expect that it's not going to happen. Just say, well, I held an open house and it didn't work. Or I held an open house over at this place here and I only got 4 responses, therefore, they don't work. Well, no, they work. You just might have picked maybe the wrong neighborhood, or maybe the wrong time, or maybe you didn't have enough signs. Okay, there could be a lot of different reasons. Maybe the reason why they hung up on you on the phone was because your attitude was wrong, or what you were saying was wrong, or whatever. Maybe they didn't respond to your ad because your ad copy's wrong. Okay, it could be a million different things. But you have to be persistent and you have to be consistent, all right? And find the things that work and then do it over and over again, all right? Number 6, they overcome fear with action. Now look, I'm a big believer in this theory, that there are 2, I heard this story, and I don't know if it's an Indian story or what, but I'm grateful to the person who told me it. I think it's an Indian story where, the Indian boy is having a dream and he talks to the chief and he says, I have this really strange dream. And the chief says, well, tell me about it. He says, I have 2 dogs in my head, okay? And one of them is fear and one of them is bravery. And they're fighting for my soul. And I don't know what to do. And I'm afraid. And the chief says, well, that's simple. He says, the one that will win is the one that you feed the most. Now that meant a lot to me when I heard that, okay? The dog that wins is the one that you feed the most. If you're afraid in your head, or if you're going to take action, whichever one you feed the most is the one that will win control of your body, will win control of your mind. If you're scared of something, if you're scared of the market, and believe me, there's been plenty of times when I've been scared, okay? I'm not going to lie. But I'll tell you this, that I have to consistently work on feeding the side of me that is towards action and taking action every day. Because eventually I know the more I feed that dog in my head, the one that is brave, the one is geared for action, then the one that's scared can't bark as loud. They get weak. The fear never goes away, but it gets weaker, and its grip on me loosens. And the same thing goes for you. When you're scared, okay, feed the dog that has the action. Feed the brave one. It will get stronger. The one that is scared will get weaker and weaker and eventually will let you go. And it works every time. All right? Number 7, they're always learning as much as they can. All right? Now, you know, there are some people out there that I really admire. You know, Dan Beal is a great example. Dan, I admire because he learns so much. This guy goes out and he markets himself and he goes to these different seminars and he learns all these different things and he learns a lot so he can be a wealth of knowledge for his clients. I'm also really impressed with people like Kurt Stinson, for example. Kurt Stinson's been around for a very long time, spent thousands and thousands of dollars on his education, okay? People like that who spend money and spend time learning grow. And when they grow, that's what causes them to stay in the business and have that stick-to-itiveness, all right? The next, they just dive in and they figure stuff out, okay? Look, there's always those people who want to say, well, I can't go on a listing presentation because I don't know the scripts. I can't go and make phone calls until I learn how to say stuff. I can't do this because I need to go do that. I need to go to this course, or I need to get this program, or I need to get that mailer out, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. They're waiting to get ready to, you know, work. If something works out, if maybe one day, if all the things are right, then maybe I might do something some way, somewhere, somehow. You know somebody like that just like I do, okay? But the people who are successful just dive in and they figure it out, okay? The answers will appear, okay? I know it's scary, and I know that there's times when you just are not going to believe it. But sometimes it really does mean that if you just jump in, okay, there are thousands of people around you that can help you. And when I say thousands, I mean literally thousands of people in your life that can help you with your problem. So if you have a deal that you're doing and you don't know how to fix it, you don't know how to quite, you know, make it work, you can talk to your broker, you can talk to the other agents in your office, you can go on YouTube and find other agents who've done this, you can go on Google, you can go all kinds of places. There are no new problems. You just have to ask the right questions. Tony Robbins has a great line. He says, when you start asking the right questions, that's when you'll get the good answers. You just got to find the right questions, all right? So don't be afraid to dive in and just figure it out, all right? Because action works, all right? Next, they give back. Oh, this is so important. They give back to others as much as possible. The successful people, the truly successful people, take the time to go out and share the knowledge that they have accumulated with other people. That's one of the biggest reasons why I do this coaching. And the thing about it is that when I started out, I wasn't given a whole lot of, you know, by the way of training. And I promised myself that if I was ever in a position where I could share any knowledge that I had that could help somebody else to get better, okay, that I would do that. And that's why we have these videos today, is because I know that I have something to contribute. And I feel it's almost imperative to me to give back. Now, you can give back in a lot of different ways. You can give back in terms of your time. You can give back in terms of your money. You can give back in terms of your knowledge. The thing about it is you must give back. It's almost a spiritual principle, if you will. Every major religion will tell you that when you give, the more you get, whether it be karma, whether it be tithing in the Judeo-Christian fashion, you know, giving back, all right, to the community or to other people through your time or your money or your knowledge, always comes back to you. And that's what the successful people do. That's the competitive edge that they have, all right? And then number 10, they never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, ever give up on their dream. Okay? It's almost a dog with a bone. Okay? It's like pugs. All right, like a pug. If you've seen these bulldogs or something like that, you know, bulldogs got this nose that's kind of stuck up a little bit, you know, and the reason why is when they're grabbing something, you know, they can tear into it and they can still breathe. It's this dog-like, loyalty to their dream. They will not give it up. They will not be denied, regardless of the strength. Excuse me. Regardless of how hard it is, they will do whatever it takes to get this dream done. They will negotiate with other people. They will work with other people. They will try and make things work. They'll try to find a way. They'll, be a bouncer in a nightclub in the middle of the night. They'll go out and throw papers at 4 in the morning. Whatever it is, but they will find a way to make this dream happen, and they will not be denied. You've got to have that inside you. You've got to have this belief inside you that no matter what happens, I will not be denied of my dream. I am going to be a successful realtor and or a real estate investor, or whatever it is you choose to do with your real estate license. Okay? You will not be denied. And if you start adopting that attitude, okay, then you will be unstoppable. Nothing can stand in your way. I believe in that, and I believe that for you. So remember, give back, be good, have a powerful selling day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.